I'm your host, Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Dawgz and Sports Chat Plays YouTube channel throughout social media. We'll get you out of here before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. To the live picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Dawgz and Sports Chat Plays will beat the Cappers and get right to the picks. Let's say hello here to Wayne. Wayne, what's going on?
What's happening, Tony T? Everything solid with me. Coming off a rough 3 to 4 days, trying to get back on the winning side. Love the crowd tonight. Good NBA and college basketball action tonight. So hopefully we put you guys on some winners. Here's some from the guys.
That's right. Let's say hello to Rod. Rod, what's happening?
No, not too much. A nice 8-1 day yesterday to end my few-day losing streak. I was definitely having a rough couple days there, so a nice little 8-1 day to snap the losing streak. Can't complain about that. On to today's action. Let's just hopefully continue that success rolling along. I know NHL's been hot. Been seeing the board great on the ice, so definitely jumping forward that. Really exciting.
Very good. Let's say hello to Shane. Shane, what's going on?
How's it going tonight, everyone? Not a whole lot going on my sides outside of outside giving up winners. I just booked the trip for Vegas for Mitch's thing though, so excited to meet everyone out there.
I am too. Very good. Joey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Tony? I'm doing well. Had a 4-0 day yesterday, so definitely looking to have another big day today. Hope you're doing well.
Very good. Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Tony. Good to be back. How you doing, buddy? Doing real well here. Getting pretty hot in hoops. 10 win days, the last 11, and we're going to keep it rolling tonight. Big card tonight.
Yep, big card indeed. Big Al, what's happening?
Not much. Seems like everyone at Dawgz is doing great. Going for my 5th straight winning day today. I have about 10 plays right now, so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Very good. Yeah, I had a good couple of days, so let's keep that good mojo going. So let's get going. Started here with the NBA for tonight. So let's pull up the card here. So we'll cover this 11-game card from the NBA here for a Wednesday. So we'll get the games ready to roll here tonight. All right, let's begin here with we'll cover the 3 in this slot. They will be here. Raptors and Wizards. We see the Raptors laying 6. Total here will be 229. We also have in this block Pistons and Pacers. Pacers are going to lay 6 here, total 231.5. Nets and Hornets. Hornets down to 2 here, total 206. Let's take a look at the injuries here. We know Jaden Ivey is going to be out for a few weeks here with Detroit with that broken leg. Indiana, there's been some changes since the morning. Nemhart and Mathurin out for Indiana there. Toronto and Washington, Grady Dick, Olenek, and quickly out. On the Washington side, it's Bagley, Bay, Brogdon, and Alex Sarr, the young guy, out for Washington. As we look at the Brooklyn game, the guys we always see out, right? Bogdanovich, Clowney, Cam Johnson, Lewis, Cam Thomas out. On the Charlotte side, Ball, Green, Mann, Martin Williams is out. Of course, Brendan Miller, their talented rookie, is out for the season, so he'll no longer appear on the roster or the injury report, but just know that he's out for the season. We get this one underway here with Wayne.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Detroit and Indiana game. We're going to take a look at Detroit in the underdog spot. They've actually been getting owned by Indiana, 6-1 in their last 7. ATS for Indiana has won. Indiana has the rest advantage. But Detroit's been solid in the rest disadvantage, winning their games. ATS at 77% clip. I like the spot for Detroit, and I like Detroit as a team better. I think they have the better overall depth. The rebounding advantage, they shoot the 3 just as well as Indiana. And Indiana's defense slightly declines when they're at home. This is more of a sell high spot on Indiana right now. Give me Detroit plus the points.
There we go here from Wayne. And next up, we move on over to Hot Rod.
Yeah, for me, in this spot, definitely not my favorite section. These early action games. I'm looking at you look at the Raptors, and hey, it's the first time they're favored on the road this season. So it's you want to lay 6 with the Raptors, who haven't been favored on the road at all this season. Yeah, but it's the Wizards, right? I don't know. I can't do it. I have to pass on that one. And the Pacers, that the news with some guys out there in that when that line dropped, it was up at 7, right? So I still think the Pacers got enough guys on that one to get the job done, win by 10 plus. But I also like Miles Turner to get the first bucket in the last 2 games versus Detroit. he scored the first bucket, so he's going to go for his third straight first bucket against Detroit and a plus 700. Don't put the house on it, but I put a little sprinkle on that one. 2 I like there.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Shane.
Yeah, I actually really like a couple of these games here. I just don't trust this Pacers team, especially on the defensive end. And this Pistons teams have impressed, especially the Timberwolves fan. I'm cheering for these Pistons to keep winning these games so that they can get that draft pick. I think they can win this game outright. I'm going to sprinkle some money on the money line there. And then that Brooklyn-Charlotte game, there's just too many injuries on both sides with good offensive players. I'm going to take the under. Even with that number being low at 206, I like the under.
From Shane. Next up, we move on to Matt.
Yeah, looking at the Detroit Indiana game, I like Detroit here with the other guys. Indiana coming off the overseas trip, could be a little jet lag going on, and with the injury situation, I like Detroit. Having lost 2 straight games, I think it's a good spot for them. The other 2 garbage games, not real much value either side. I would lean to Washington only because, like what Rod said about Toronto being a favorite on the road for the first time this season. I think they're overvalued here now. 4 straight wins. I don't know how they can keep this up. Washington coming off a long road trip. I think they can hang with the number here. And Brooklyn, Charlotte. Yeah, there's just too many injuries going on there to even have an opinion on that game.
There from Matt. Next up, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, so I'm going opposite here. I like the Raptors in this spot against the Wizards. Toronto's playing some really good basketball right now. They're 4-1 straight up their last 5. Wizards, honestly, they don't play much offense or even defense. They've scored less than 100 points in 2 of their last 4 games. Granted, both of those were on the road, but they put up 88 and 93 points. And if they do anything remotely close to that, I think the Raptors can cover this number. It might be dicey throughout the game, but I think they pull away at the end and cover this number.
From Joey. Next up, we move on over to Big L.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the Detroit Pistons game. They come into this game off back-to-back Suats losses to Orlando and Cleveland. And I like Detroit as an underdog because the Pacers are a poor 25 and 54 ATS versus opponents off back-to-back Suats losses if Indiana wasn't getting more than 8 points. So, of course, the favorite in this game, I'll take Detroit as the dog.
From Big Al, I'll tell you what I think about some of these games here on tonight's slate. I'm going to go over here, Toronto and Washington. Toronto, just a very bad defensive team away from home, allowing 119 points per 100 possessions. The Washington at home, not a very good defensive team either, 118 points per 100 possessions. They also play at the 4th fastest pace at home. Toronto in great shooting form, like the over in that one. In the net, Charlotte. Give me the Charlotte Hornets. This is a team at least tries to win. We know what this Brooklyn team is doing. It's not as I've said before, you look at some of their scorers, you click the link, and there's no profile for these guys. So these guys are pretty much a lot of G Leaguers that are there in the lineup for this Nets team. And look at the Nets over their past 5 games, averaging 94 points a game, 38% shooting. I'll take the team that tries here with Charlotte in this spot, and of course that they're at home in this one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we get ready here for the next series of games here from the NBA on this block. The ones we'll cover will be the following: Cavaliers, Heat. Cavs laying 6, total 224.5. Bulls and Celtics. Celtics coming down a little bit. We saw this one over 14, maybe 14 and a hook earlier this morning. Celtics 13.5, the total 228. And then we'll go Kings, Sixers. Kings laying 8 here, total 232. We'll take a look at the injuries here from this block of games. Looking at Bulls and Celtics here. Craig and Levine out for Chicago. We still have questionable tags here on Hauser, Horford, and Jason Tatum. Cleveland and Miami. For Cleveland, Garland, LeVert, Okoro, Travers, and Wade here out there. Sam Merrill, scorer off the bench, is questionable. Butler and Richardson here out here for Miami. So you're caught up on the injuries in this block. Let's get it started here with Wayne.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at this Cleveland and Miami game. I like the over. Cleveland 8-2 to the over in their last 10 on the road, while Miami 7-3 to the over in their last 5 at home. I think we have a 3-point shootout here, even with Cleveland missing some of their guys. Cleveland also known as a defensive team, but in their last 3, they've been giving up 119, and they give up more points when they're on the road at 114. While on the other side, Cleveland, hot scoring team. They've not let up scoring many times this season, averaging 123. Miami tends to score a little better at home. Give me the over 224.5 in this spot.
Yeah, from Wayne. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
Didn't I start?
It was Wayne who started.
What?
This
I already
block
talked
two.
about the Cleveland games and the Hornet games, and I gave the Indiana.
Yeah, well, this one
I
here.
gave Miles Turner to get the first bucket in the
Well,
Pacers game.
Yep, but I think in this block we had different
Oh,
games.
we're on the next block. Okay,
Next
so
block,
where
yeah.
we went to?
We went to the let's see what we
Oh,
got here.
Chicago,
Kings,
Boston,
Sixers,
Cal.
Cleveland Heats, and Chicago, Boston. Yep.
Oh, okay. Looking at definitely not my favorite slate of action, but give me the over Denver and New York at 242. It's the highest total on the board, and we know what the Knicks have been doing. They've been scoring some points. We know the Nuggets can score some points as well, so I think both teams get up into the 250 range in that one. Give me the over Denver and New York. And then looking at the Bulls of Boston, and I'm going to take a page out of the first quarter. You got to go with the first quarter in that matchup there. Boston, they've lost 4 straight in the first quarter. The line's actually come down now with those guys questionable for Boston. I'm guessing some of those guys are going to sit or not be in this game. So give me the Bulls in the first quarter. You get a nice big giant plus price. Boston's lost 4 straight in that first quarter. A couple I like there.
Couple from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Shane.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that Bulls-Boston game too. I actually like the side and the total. I like Boston to cover. I think with Zach LaVine out, the Bulls struggle to score. I know they're coming off that big win against Denver, but they're not fully healthy. I think the Celtics defense is good. I think they cover, and just based on that, I also think the under hits. I think this Bulls team is just really gonna have issues scoring, which will keep this game lower scoring. I think they'll finish this around maybe 220 or 221.
There from Shane. Next up, we move on over to Matt.
Yeah, I'm with Shane with the Celtics here. I think it's a good spot for them coming off a loss. Last second loss over Houston. They've lost back-to-back games only once this year. And I think it's a great spot for them to bounce back. They haven't been the same team, obviously, as last year. They've been kind of hot and cold, up and down all year long so far. And, coming off a loss, I think they'll be motivated tonight. And the other game to look at is Cleveland-Miami. Cleveland's come back down to earth a little bit. They've lost 5 of the last 9. And it's kind of a tricky spot. I think Miami, coming off that overtime win over Orlando, sparked him a little bit with the Butler news going on. He's just obviously been a cancer for this team. And now that he's gone, he won't be back anymore. He'll be gone by the trade deadline. So they have that off their shoulders. They can kind of get on with their business now. I think they can stay within this number against the Heat tonight.
There from Matt. All right, next up, we shall move on over to Joey.
Yeah, so I'm going opposite here. I like Cleveland laying this number. I don't know. As good as it is that Butler's not playing tonight for the Heat, I still think they have some trouble. They have covered just 2 of their last 6 games at home. The Heat are 10-5 as a favorite of 5.5 to 10 points this season. I don't know. I think the Cavs can cover this, maybe even win by double digits tonight.
There from Joey. All right, next up, we move on over to Big Al.
Yeah, I'm going to take Miami as the home dog. They're off back-to-back Suats wins, and the Heat are now 22-12 ATS as a home dog if they were off 2 Suats wins. So I'll take Miami plus points.
From Big Al, I'll tell you what I think here about some of these games here. We're looking here at the over Cleveland and Miami. We've got Cleveland in their past 5 road games, allowing 122 points per 100 possessions. Miami at home put up 116 points per 100 possessions over their past 4 home games. And looking here at the over numbers here, Heat 14-7 the over at home, Cavs 14-6 for the over on the road. I like the over in that spot. Kings and Sixers, I'm just going to go ahead and lay it with Sacramento. There wasn't a whole lot of depth on this Sixers team, especially with all these injuries. Of course, Tyrese Maxey went off yesterday in a back-to-back spot against a Kings team tonight. That is pretty much healthy in this spot. That's the one I would look at. I don't know, maybe this one. I think I jumped ahead in that game. But anyway, that's who I like there in that spot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we get ready here for the next series of games. So let's bring up the odds. All right, next up we did cover the Kings Sixers in this block. All right, so next up we've got the Nuggets and Knicks here. Knicks have come down. They were 3 for most of the morning overnight and now down to 2.5, total 241. Clippers and Spurs. Clippers 3.5, total 220.5. Mavericks and Pelicans. Mavericks a point on the road, total 233. Let's take a look at these injuries here for these games here. Denver and the Knicks. We just have Concard out, so pretty much the Knicks will be at full strength in this one. On the Knicks side, Daddy and McCullough Robinson out. Josh Hart is still listed as questionable there. Dallas and the Pelicans here. We've got in this one, Luka, as you know, is still going to be out. We've got Kleber still out. We got Lively still out. Powell is out here for Dallas. Exum doubtful. Marshall questionable. Hawkins, a talent rookie there off the bench, he's out for New Orleans. Ingram Jones out there. So we got you almost covered here. We'll get the final game, Clippers and Spurs. We've got Christie Dunn Tucker out for LA. Sissoko out for San Antonio. Looks like the core healthy in this spot in these games. So let's get this one underway here with Wayne.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the Denver and Knicks game. I like Denver money line. I also look at the extended on there if I can get good enough plus money, because I think they win this game by about 5 points. Knicks home favorite against the West. I just don't love them in these spots. I do feel like Denver Nuggets has the more talented team, playing just a strong basketball. Buy low spot for the Nuggets for coming off of 2 losses, but way more talented team, way better depth in their team to attack the paint. I don't think without Robinson, I don't think the Knicks do very well at rim protecting. So I'm gonna take the Nuggets money line in this spot.
From Wayne, next up, move on over to Rod.
Yeah, for me, I jumped a spot last time. So looking at the Denver Nuggets and the Knicks, I like the over still that one. You look at what both offenses have been doing. Nuggets over their last 5 games, scoring 122 points a game, hitting 52% of their field goals. And then during versus the Eastern Conference this year, it's went over. They're 15-2 versus the Eastern Conference, so the over are these Denver Nuggets, hitting 53% of their shots and scoring 127 points a game. And you look what the Knicks do at home. Well, they're hitting 49.5% of their shots and hitting 119 points. And over their last 5 games, that's increased to about 20. So that's plenty enough to get us over the 242 in that matchup. Give us the over there. And then give me Dallas. There's a revenge spot here for Dallas in this one. And what does Dallas do on the road? Fairly well. In away games when they're revenging a loss from earlier, they're 26-9 ATS when revenging a loss. So give me Dallas in that one.
From Rod, next up, over to Shane.
Yeah, I wish I would have put this in as a premium. I really love the Knicks here tonight. Trusting the Knicks sometimes scary and something I really don't honestly love doing, which is why I didn't put it in the premium play section. But it's just hard to ignore what this Denver Nuggets team has done. They've gotten no bench production so far on their road trip, and it's killed them. They lost 133-104 to the Timberwolves, 129-121 against the Bulls. Arguments can be made that the Knicks are better than both those teams offensively. I think that this game gets ugly early. I'm going to take the Knicks laying 2.5, 3, whatever it needs to be. I think they win by this game by 6 or 7.
Yeah, from Shane. Next up, we move on over to Matt.
Yeah, I'm with Shane with the Knicks in this one. They're playing well now. They won 4 in a row after a rough start to the month. Denver's lost their last 2 games on the road, which typically would be a bounce back spot, but they're 1-5 coming off a loss as a road favorite this year. So, they do struggle in this situation, and the Knicks are 6-0 ATS this year against teams with winning percentages between 60% and 70%. So, lay the short number there. And one other game here is Dallas at San Antonio. I like the Mavs. They're treading water right now without Luka. They're still they're been hot and cold, but they've been doing all right without him, and I think it's a good spot. They've been 15-6 against teams that are ranked in the bottom half of the league, so they're taking care of business there. On the flip side, the New Orleans Pelicans, they are not good in these situations. They have gone 3-24 against teams ranked in the top 16 in the league this year, and basically what comes down to a pick 'em. I like Dallas here in this spot tonight.
There from Matt. Next up, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, there's 2 teams I like in this time slot. I like the Knicks on the money line at home against the Nuggets. Denver is losing back-to-back into this one. Defensively, they're not doing that well. They've allowed 132 and 129 points in their last 2 games. Knicks are hot, and I think they stay hot here. And then I'm also looking at the Mavericks on the money line against the Pelicans. Pelicans have lost 3 in a row. They have little to no offensive production. They're averaging just 112 points per game at home this year, and the Mavs are 3-2 their last 5. And in that 5-game in that 5-game span, they're hitting just under 50%. I think they can outshoot the Pels here and win this one.
From Joey on over to Big Al.
Yeah, I'll take a look at San Antonio. They haven't played since Saturday when they were blown out by the Indiana Pacers, 136-98. But San Antonio is an awesome 182 and 127 ATS in the regular season. If they're off a loss by more than 10 points, I'll take San Antonio over the Clips.
From Big Al, I'll tell you what I think about some of these games here tonight. I'm going to be looking here at the Knicks as well here. Denver here, really brutal road trip so far in this one here. When you look at New York, 6-2 to the spread at home, facing teams that allow 116 points per game or greater. So against these bad defensive teams, they get points. The Knicks 6-2 to the spread at home. When you look here at this New York Knicks schedule, look at their schedule over their past 12. They've played 10 at home, and their 2 road games were at Brooklyn and Philadelphia. So this is a team that has kind of their sweet spot of their schedule where they haven't really had to travel very far. So you're sitting a team with a lot of energy right now because they haven't been road weary. The short trip to Brooklyn, the short trip to Philly, and they've been at home for a while. So I'll take the Knicks in this spot. You got the Denver Nuggets team here in the middle of a road trip out back east, not looking good at all on this trip. I'm going to look at the Pels in this spot. Dallas is failed to cover 4 of 5 on the road. And I just don't trust Spencer Dinwiddie. When I see him in the starting lineup, I'm just like, man, you'll get 1 good game, 3 bad games from him. Remember, he was with Brooklyn, was cut from Brooklyn, picked up by the Lakers on waivers, couldn't hang with the Lakers, and I don't like the way this Mavericks team has played on the road of late. So I'll look at them in this spot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we get ready to close out the NBA here with the following 2 games. They will be Timberwolves and Suns. Suns laying a point, total 218.5. Thunder and Warriors. Thunder down to 9.5. This was double digits. I even saw 10 in a hook early this morning. 224.5. Let's take a look at this injury report. I should refresh it because there are some players on there. Let's take a look. Minnesota will be without DiVincenzo and Shannon, but Naz Reid has hit the injury report. He's a key guy off the bench. He's usually their leading scorer off the bench. Naz Reid hits it as questionable. He's iffy with illness. So there apparently is a bug going around the locker room. Rob Dillingham also has illness, so there looks to be some contagious illness right now with this Minnesota Timberwolves team. So if that's the case, I would not expect to see Dillingham or Reed in there. They're questionable here, but if it's contagious, I doubt if they play. Dunn and Durant. Durant is a questionable player here with that thumb issue, sprained thumb, but he did get through this. He did get through the shoot around this morning. So that's the word there on Durant in that spot. OKC and the Warriors, we know Holmgren and Mitchell are out. Green is out. Kuminga out. Curry has been upgraded here to probable. Let me see if there's any late word on Curry. He's expected to play. Just sat out last week. I'm sorry, he just sat out last night against the Jazz. They didn't need him against the Jazz. They're gonna need him against they're gonna need him against the Thunder. All right, so that's how it rolls there. So let's get this one underway here with Wayne.
Yeah, we're gonna look at this Minnesota-Phoenix game, and I like Minnesota. They won the last 5 against Phoenix. I think they make it 6 here. Both these teams are playing decent as of recently, especially Phoenix. It's a sell high spot on Phoenix. I just don't trust them as a favorite against a defensive team and a team with size. It's one of Phoenix's flaws is their size. They did this trade for Nick Richardson, getting Charlotte's backup center, who will come in and help later on in the season. But early on in this trade, I don't think it will be too significant in this spot. And I'm going to take Minnesota to continue smashing Phoenix.
There we go from Wayne. Next up, we move on over to Rob.
Yeah, for me in that one, if Durant's in, I'll take the Suns. But if Durant's out, I'll take Minnesota. It's that simple for me in that game. Looking at OKC taking on the Warriors. If Durant's in, I'll take the Suns. He's not can't do it. They got to go with Minnesota there. So the OKC looking at the Warriors. You know what? I went back and forth, and now that it's come down a little. But you know what? OKC does the best off of a 10-point win or more on the road. They followed up with another solid win. They're 26-3 ATS following a 10-point win is OKC. I looked at it a few times and it's like, man, I want to back the Warriors here because it's just one of those spots they want to step up and see how good that team really is. But I just don't think they can do it. I think OKC comes in and pounds. I got to lay with OKC there in that one.
There from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Shane.
Yeah, I agree with that Warriors take. I mean, they got some big decisions to make at the trade deadline, figuring out what they actually believe this team is. Even with Steph back, I just don't trust this team. This Thunder team can defend. I think the Warriors struggle here. And then for that Timberwolves Suns game, even if Nas and Dillingham, are in, I still like the Suns here. This has been the same story with Minnesota all season. Just when you start to trust them again after a couple big wins, they go out and lay an egg. This feels like that situation here. I'll take the Suns.
There we go from Shane. Next up, we move on over to Matt.
Yeah, look at the T-Wolves Suns. Look at the Suns here. This is both teams won 3 straight. This game's pretty big for Phoenix, I think. It's good news, Tony, like you said, that Durant made the shoot around this morning okay. So he should be good to go. And this is kind of a big game for them. They got swept in the playoffs last year against Minnesota in the first round. And they lost the first one again this year, but that was in Minnesota. So this is the first home game since last year, since that sweep. So they'll be fired up in this spot. It's a good number. So lay it basically with the pick 'em with Phoenix tonight.
There from Matt. All right, next up, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Matt and Shane here. I like the Suns on the money line. They've won 3 in a row. They've allowed 109 or less in all 3 of those games. T-Wolves have won 3 in a row as well, but I think this is a letdown spot for them. They're 5-7 straight up after a home game, and the Suns are 7-3 off a home win. I think the Suns stay hot and they win tonight.
From Joey. Next up, we move on over to Big Al.
Yeah, I'm going to lay the points with the Thunder. They're on a 3-game ATS losing streak, and OKC is 89-64 ATS when they're favored by 8 or more points and on a 3-game ATS losing streak, so I'll lay it.
There from Big Al. I'll tell you what I think here about the one game I'll look here at is the earlier I was going to back Minnesota, but that Naz Reid injury has me concerned because he does contribute off the bench for them. That's a big piece missing. If Durant's going to play, as it looks like it's trending, I'll look at the Suns in that spot here against the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we'll switch on over to college hoops here. Here on the drive-thru as let's see, we'll get the graphic up for you guys here. From college basketball. Let's see what we're going to do. I've got the time windows set for you guys here. So let's see. Here we go. So let's get to the games here. In this slot, we will cover games here from, the 6:30 game just tipped off. So we'll cover games from 7 o'clock, including the games at 5 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, including the games at 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock starts we'll include in this spot, and we'll just run through the graphic here, show you some of the odds and some of these key matchups here for tonight in college basketball. We could see Furman already off to a big start here against Stanford there from the SoCal. Army up in Colgate. So we get some of the 6:30 games we'll pass on because they've already started, but you can see some of the 7 o'clock games. Virginia Tech, Florida State will be in there. There's a lot at Auburn, LSU. There's a lot of games here at 7 Eastern tonight, as we'll just kind of go through them. You guys can take a look at some of the odds. Miami, I think Big Al was right with that Miami cover. That was the one he gave out last Thursday.
Oh, God.
Overtime there. UMass there. Houston, Virginia, West Virginia there. Houston going to be laying 9 there on the road. St. Joe's and Duquesne there. You see Wisconsin will be in action. So we've got quite a few here as we run through the gamut here. Let's just go ahead and send it over to Wayne as I go through this long list of games here.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride Chattanooga in this spot versus Western Carolina. I was on Western Carolina a lot last year. They just lost a lot of talent. That was a very good offensive team last season. This season, 317th in offense, and even worse on defense, 348th in defense. Chattanooga's starting to get rolling. Chattanooga is pretty balanced, and they're playing with revenge. So I laid a 10.5 with Chattanooga in that spot, and give me Rhode Island over Massachusetts. That's a tougher game, but I do think Rhode Island being at home will give them the edge to pull away late. They've been in a lot of tight games this season, but they do end up pulling away late in the fourth quarter, as they have a deep team and a good starting lineup. So give me Rhode Island -4.
And there from Wayne. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
Couple I like here in this section of games. You went all the way to the 8 o'clock ones, or
starting
right?
at 8?
Or
Yeah,
stopping
games.
at 8 o'clock.
No, starting at 8. Games from 7 Eastern and to starting at 8. We include the 8 o'clock games.
Include the 8 o'clock ones. All right, so I'm going to take the ball here in this in the first half then over UConn. You know what? UConn's down home in the first half so far this season. Well, they're 0-9 ATS in the first half this season. Is UConn. You give me 8.5 with DePaul in the first half. That's what I like. DePaul plus the 8.5 there in the first half. Give me UIC, Illinois Chicago heading into Bradley. That line hasn't budged an inch all day. UIC is a solid cover team, 13-5 covering that number, and at 8, I just like it. Too many points there for Bradley to be covered. UIC is going to be battling in that. And then I like that over in the game that Wayne was mentioning. Chattanooga is turning their offense up. They're definitely scoring some points, but they can give it up defensively as well, but not as bad as Western Carolina defensively. I believe Western Carolina ranked defensively, 330th ranked defensively. 147.5, that's definitely too light of a total. Give me the over Chattanooga, Western Carolina. And then Virginia taking on Miami. Ooh, it's like the G10 bet game of the night, I think, on that one. Give me the under 135. I think it's going to be a slow-paced snooze fest. And we get under the 135 in that one.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Shane.
Yeah, I'll build on that. Virginia, Miami, under 135. Virginia's offense is awful. The only way that they have a chance to win this game is to play at their snail's pace, and I think that's exactly what they do here. I really don't know who wins, but I do know that there's got to be many points scored. The Wisconsin-Maryland game, I'm going to take Wisconsin here. These teams, if they're playing on neutral courts, if Wisconsin's a better team, I don't know how you're giving them 5.5. Going on the road at Maryland, I'll take that. And then the St. Thomas Oral Roberts game, I'm going to take St. Thomas laying the points. Oral Roberts has refused to play defense all season. They only have that star player like they used to, like they've had the last few years on the offensive end. St. Thomas at home is gonna win that game and blow it back.
We got from Shane. Next up, we move on over to Matt.
Yeah, I got a few to look at here. Some good situation spots. George Washington minus 7.5 revenge game against Richmond. It's a good get-right game. They're coming off a win over St. Louis. They have this game plus LaSalle on deck for a couple of big games against the Bonnies and George Mason. So I keep wanting to say Colonials. Can't do that anymore. The Revolutionaries minus 7.5. Wolford minus 11.5. They're coming off a blowout loss. That's a big get-right game for them. And they have UNC Greensboro on deck, so this is a must-win for them. Lay the lumber there. Like Rhode Island, UMass has won 3 in a row. And Rhode Island's 7-0 quad 4 games. They've covered all 4 at home with what they're laying here. So they should easily lay or win by margin with a 4 here against UMass. Also like Southern Miss plus 9.5 against Arkansas State, who is on a 5-0 straight-up ATS run. I think we're getting good value here with the Golden Eagles, who are coming off a 4-game road trip. Good number at home for them. And the last one I'm looking at is Creighton. Xavier coming off a big win over UConn. Kind of a letdown game. Creighton, I think, is a game and a half, or maybe just one game out of first place in the Big East right now. They won 6 in a row, covered 6 in a row. Won 5-0, covered 6 in a row. So they're playing great right now. Lane, I think, is a pretty decent number with 6. So I say we take the home favorite in this Big East battle.
There from Matt. Just want to upgrade some injuries here. Hauser and Horford out for Boston. They're updating that. Tatum is in the lineup tonight for Celtics. You can upgrade Sam Merrill here for Cleveland. Probable, most likely playing there in that one. So some updates in the NBA injury wise. So next up, we shall move on over to Joey.
Yeah, so there's 2 games that I like in this slot. I like American moneyline against Lafayette. They've won 5 straight, and they're playing incredible defense. Lafayette has lost 3 or 4, and they've allowed 85+ in 2 of their last 3. I think American can definitely run up the score here. And then I like Nebraska-Omaha on the money line against South Dakota. I gave them out last week. I don't know. I like that team. They're pretty damn good. They've won 9 straight since losing to Iowa State. They're fast, and they can make buckets. And they've scored 80+ in 4 straight. I think they can top it here and hit it in 5 straight. Give me Nebraska-Omaha on the money line.
From Joey on to Big L.
Yeah, so I guess now there's just one school nicknamed the Colonials, Robert Morris. They were thinking about making a change a few years ago when GW did, but they've never acted on it. So maybe that means they decided not to, or maybe they're just mulling it over, but it's been several years since they thought about it. Oh, I'm going to take George Mason. I'm going to actually go against George Mason. They come into this game off that big upset win over St. Bonaventure, and they're 5-23 ATS at home in conference games, often upset wins. So I'll take Loyola Chicago plus the points. Then the other game that goes at 8 o'clock. It's a revenge match. I'm going to take Kansas State minus the points at 7.5. Okie State already beat them 79-66, and the Cowboys are 12-29 ATS as a road dog when playing an opponent it defeated earlier in the season. So I'll lay it with the Wildcats.
There from Miguel. I'll tell you what I think about some of these games here. I agree here with the under in Virginia and Miami. These are two teams in really poor offenses. Virginia last in offensive efficiency in the ACC. Miami 17th and second to last in offensive efficiency and conference. Go under there. I like Xavier plus the points there. They've covered 4 of 5 as they defended very well here. This Xavier team. So those are the two that I like in this spot. Let's continue here on the drive-through as we'll close out college basketball with the late slate of games. The games beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern time and later. And we'll just take a look here at some of the games here. Rutgers, Northwestern, Alabama, Mississippi State. That'll be a nice one there. You can see Mississippi State moving up to 1.5 in that one. SMU here hosting Cal tonight. St. Mary's, Santa Clara there as well. Texas and Ole Miss will be on ESPN2 tonight. Ole Miss 6.5 there. Nevada and Boise State, Mountain West action. Boise 7.5 there. I think it's come down from the 8 it was this morning. UNLV and Utah State. Utah State, big one here. 10.5 here, total 146.5. And your late night game, those folks from Syracuse make that trip all the way to Berkeley to face Stanford. Stanford laying an 11 there, total 149. Let's start off. We start this block off with Wayne.
Yeah, I got to go back on time slot. I thought we were stopping at 8, but I got to go against my guy Tony, and I believe Matt was on. Say he was on Creighton minus the 6. Home team. Xavier is playing a little bit better, but Creighton at home is just hard to fade. Even laying 6 right here. Xavier team depends a lot on the 3-point, while Creighton defends the 3 very well. And I just like teams that have rebounding advantages against teams that chuck up a lot of 3s. So give me Creighton to pull away at home. And in the late time slot, the only game that I like this not a premium as Belmont. Not as good on the road, but Belmont is a stronger team offensively. Getting a light number with the better team, in my opinion. Take Belmont.
There from Wayne. All right, next up we move on over to Rock.
Yeah, looking at Texas taking on Ole Miss. You look at Ole Miss is definitely on the downside. They've lost 3 straight now. Burnt me on the first one. Burnt me on the second one. Watch them burn everybody on the third one. Not going for the fourth, their 2 spot. So give me Texas plus the points there in that matchup. I think they can keep it close with Ole Miss if Ole Miss doesn't completely collapse down the stretch like they always do over the last 3. This hasn't been pretty for Ole Miss, so I'm not betting on a team to, it should be get right. No, give me Texas plus the points in that one. And then that's up to 9 now, Northwestern and Rutgers. I just don't like Rutgers on the road. It's a complete fade. I believe they're one of their big men is out in that one. I'm guessing that's why that line is shot up to 9. So I like Northwestern all the way to double digits. So I'll still leave the 9 there with Northwestern in that matchup. And then give me the over in Syracuse and Stanford. I think that turns into a track meet. Stanford can definitely score plenty of points. Syracuse will pitch in a little bit to help get over that total of 148. I see it. I believe we cruise well into the 150s in that one. Stanford, Syracuse, take the over.
There from Rod. All right, we move on. Next on over to Shane.
Yeah, there's only one game I really like in this slot that's not a premium, and that's Stanford laying the points. You know, it seems that we still think this is a Stanford team of old. I guess they're not at the top of the ACC, but they've been beating up on bad teams. You know, they blew out Virginia. They found success against Virginia Tech. They blew out Miami at home. They've done what they needed to against bad teams, and Syracuse qualifies as one of those bad teams. I think Syracuse just plays zero defense here. Stanford's offense is going to be good, and they will cover the 12 points.
There you go. Didn't they go in North Carolina and win too? That was one of the 4 big surprise. That was a sick big surprise of the year there, no doubt. All right, next up we move on over to Matt.
Yeah, looking at Texas, Mississippi. I'm going against Rod here. Sorry, bud. It's a
No
big
worries.
number, which I thought I thought it might come down a little bit. But I think it's a really good spot for them. Texas, I'm not sure what makes this team, man. They're coming off 2 come from behind wins at home, big wins for them. But they've also lost to what was it, A&M, and I forget who the other team was, by over 20 on the road. So their road play hasn't been good. Mississippi's lost 3 in a row. They're 9-1 at home. Their only home loss was to A&M by 1 point. I think it's a big spot for them in a big bounce back game. The other game I'm looking at is Alabama and Mississippi State. I like Bama in this spot. They're 5-1 on the road. Their only road loss was against Purdue back in early to mid-November, the 15th, something like that. They play the number 1 schedule in the country. They're battle tested. Mississippi State has performed well, but their best win has been against Mississippi, their rival, and that took overtime by 3 points. So basically, what is a pick'em game? I like Bama in this spot. And one of the later games, it's Nevada and Boise State, 2 teams that came into the season ranked 1 and 2 by Blue Ribbon to take the Mountain West Conference, and neither are playing good right now. Especially Nevada, they're 0-5 ATS and straight up the last 5. I think it's too big of a number. They've only won 1 game on the road, which is against a bad Fresno team. But I think this is one of those games that comes down to the last possession. 2 teams desperately need a win right now, and I'll take the significant road underdog in this situation.
From Matt on over to Joey.
Yeah, so there's another 2 games I'm looking at in this spot. I agree with Matt with Ole Miss. I truly think this game rides on Ole Miss's defense. If they show up, they can definitely win and cover this one. They're strong, but they have their inconsistencies. Texas has had a huge 1-point win against the Aggies, and then before that, they had a nice upset over Mizzou. Motions are riding high for them. I think this is a big letdown spot for them. And the other game I like is Santa Clara with the points against St. Mary's. Santa Clara had a tough loss against Oregon State on the road. They're returning home. They played strong. There were 2 previous games before that, including a 103-point win at home against Gonzaga. St. Mary's might go on runs, but I really think Santa Clara can keep this one within this number.
From Joey on over to Big Al.
Oh, I'm going to look at the Alabama Miss State game. Miss State did win its last game, 65-60 versus South Carolina. So they won by 5, but they were favored by 7. So they didn't cover the spread, and that was their 5th straight loss to the spread. And they've also lost 6 straight in this series to the Crimson Tide. But Mississippi State is 86-43 ATS when they're playing with revenge if they were not off a straight-up an ATS win in their previous game. So I'll lay the 2 points with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, from Big Al, what I think about the game I'm looking at here. I'm agreeing with Matt here with Nevada plus the points. Boise State does turn the ball over a bit too much in the Mountain West, and you look at their defense over their past 5 games, giving 48% shooting. They do have a losing spread record against the Mountain West Conference, and Nevada away from home shoots over 46%. So I'll look at Nevada there plus the 8. All right, let's continue here on the drive-throughs. We'll go right into the NHL here for tonight. So we'll pull up the odds here right now for this NHL card tonight. And here we'll just cover the whole games. Kings and Panthers, the news here. Doughty returns for the Kings after that broken leg in training camp. Doughty is usually a guy that likes a lot of ice time. We'll see how he plays tonight. Panthers $1.51 here, total 5.5. Wild and Maple Leafs $1.54, total 5.5. Flyers and Devils $1.74, total 5.5. Canucks at Predators $1.44, total 5.5. Late night game, Penguins and Hockey Club $1.34, total of 6. We started off here. Let's see if Wayne's got his skates on tonight. If he's laced them up, we'll start off with Wayne if he's got something.
No, sir, Tony. Unfortunately, not tonight, man. Nothing I love.
All right, next up we move on over to Rod.
Couple for me here in the spot. You look at Paul Maurice against the teams that are like so winning. That win about 60% of their games. He just hasn't fared so well against these teams. 12-26, and as you heard, that news is big for the Kings. Doughty coming back. Do they need him to play a whole lot of ice time? Nah. But it'll motivate the rest of that Kings team to step up and have a big game. That their leader is back. So I like the Kings here in this spot. You look at the underdog has covered the puck line in 10 straight head-to-head between these 2 teams. But no puck line needed there. Give me the Kings on the money line in that one. And the other one I like in this NHL slate, Look at that Pittsburgh Penguins team. Ooh-wee. They left the home on the 17th of January, and now you look, they've played 6 straight hockey games. This will be their 7th hockey game on the road. And you look at their last 3 hockey games, they scored 1 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal. Well, when you're scoring 1 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal, you're not winning any hockey games. And Utah hasn't been the greatest hockey club themselves, but this is one of those spots that they're going to take advantage of a Pittsburgh team that's a little bit tired and wants to go home. I know what it's like eating out on the road for anything longer than a week. Your body's like, hey, is there seed oil in that? Are you sure there's no seed oil in that? Because I'm starting to feel pretty awful from one of that stuff from that food. And I think Pittsburgh's in trouble in that one. Give me the Utah Hockey Club on the puck line. I think they beat up on the Penguins there.
And from Rod, next up, move on over to Shane.
Yeah, I'm just building on that Penguins game. I like the under, basically for the reasons Rod said. The Penguins offense has been awful. I don't think Utah is going to be, this isn't a game where Utah's going to score 4 or 5 goals, so I like the under. And then in the Minnesota-Toronto game, I like the Maple Leafs on the puck line. Minnesota's going to be able to Kaprizov for at least a month. They just found out that news yesterday. And even with Kaprizov in the lineup, this isn't a wild team that's played very well with their offense in terms of scoring goals. They mostly leaned on their goaltending, and their goaltending has been inconsistent as of late. I think Toronto scores 4 or 5 here and wins this game on the puck line.
All right, on over to Joey.
Sorry, I was on mute. I just like one hockey play tonight, not to sound like a homer, but I'm going with the Devils on the puck line. They lost 4-2 against the Flyers last time out. Now we're going back home to the Prudential Center. Devils are good when revenging here. They're 5-1 straight up this season when revenging a road loss, and the Flyers are just 3-8 straight up off a home win. I like the Devils here, and honestly, put it with Jack Hughes to score.
Yeah, from Joey, next up on over to Big Al.
Yeah, I'm kind of in unison with Joey on the Devils. The only difference is I'm just going to lay the $1.80, $1.85. I'm not going to do it on the puck line. And the Flyers are 56-94 as an underdog, and the Devils, they didn't just lose 2 nights ago. They lost earlier this month, so they're playing with double revenge from 2 losses this month. So I'll lay it with New Jersey.
There from Big Al, and I know skipped Matt. You have no skates tonight, right, Matt?
I'm not tied up.
No, all right, there you go. All right, now it's time for our parlay purple segment where the captains give it a parlay of team, player, prop. They choose it. Let's get it underway here with Wayne. Wayne, wake up, man. Oh, man, he's been dozing off a little bit. All right, we got to get him some coffee over there. Rod, you got that coffee for him? Rod's got that.
My coffee's running low, too. So
all right, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, Wayne. Got to catch up on that sleep. You need at least 7 hours a night. Let's on over to Rod.
For me, I had a couple things for you here. You know what? I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks to win big tonight. I'm taking the extendo line. Give me the Dallas Mavericks minus 9.5 at plus 285. I think they win by 10 plus there in that one. And then we're going to take Anze Kopitar to get himself an anytime goal. He's been ripping it up and lighting the lamp for the Kings. And at a plus 350, I love Kopitar to get himself a goal there tonight. A couple plays for you there.
There from Rod. Next up on over to Shane.
I'm going to do a parlay here. I like Detroit money line in NBA. I like New York money line. I like Phoenix money line. Over the ice, I'll take the Maple Leafs on the money line. A nice little 14-er that'll cash tonight.
Here from Shane. Next up on over to Matt.
Tony, 7 hours a night, man. I haven't done that. I haven't done that in like 2 decades.
Well,
that's awesome. You can do that. So I'm looking at a 3-team money line parlay in the NBA with the Clippers, the Knicks, and the Dallas Mavericks. 3-team money line parlay pays about 4-1. I'm looking at DraftKings right now, 100 to pay 412. So 3-team money line parlay.
There from Matt. Next up, we move on over to Joey.
Yeah, I'm looking at the golf course here, and I'm going with AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and I like Colin Morikawa to finish in the top 10 here. He doesn't have the best course history. However, he finished 14th here last year. He finished top 5 at the Century last week, and I think he can definitely finish out of top 10, and honestly sprinkle on the money line as well, because if he's hot, he's going to make these putts, and he can win here.
There from Joey on over to Big Al.
Well, I'll tell you one game I'm just betting on as we speak is the Miami, Florida Hurricanes. So I'll put that in a parlay with Mississippi State and Oklahoma City.
They're from Big Al. I'll tell you what I like here. I'm going to go with the Pelicans, Suns, and Nevada plus the points. It looks like our man Wayne, is he? Well, he was there. Are you there back, Wayne? Talk to us if you hear us. I think.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
My phone,
Yeah,
meeting if you can hear me.
We can hear you. What's your parlay?
Yeah, like I said, I love the. I'm on the other side of this one, but I love the Nuggets in this one. You can also Rhode Island money line and Chattanooga against the spread.
There you go from Wayne. Now let's take a look at Pick Dawgz, maybe see what the Cappers have for sale. Heading to a big week of action here on the ice and on the hardwood. Wayne, what you got for sale? Having a great NFL year. What do you got for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium?
Yeah, as I stated, rough week, but I'm ready to bounce back and chip away at the books. I'm not going to be on a downtrend for long. College basketball today. Best bet in college basketball, I believe, it has started, but I do still have a bet out there. Grab some long term. You can get a couple extra bets per day. I normally leave at least one for my long term. And pair me up one of these top handicappers you see on these guys are running hot in different sports. You pair us up together and continue to make money.
That's right, guys. Yeah, we're waiting over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Let's take a look at Shane, see what he's got for sale. Shane, what you got for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium?
Yeah, I got a 3-pack, 2 3-packs up there. 1 3-pack's a sampler basketball with NBA college basketball, and then another 3-pack is just my 3 best college basketball, $39.99. Or hop on long term. It's best time of the year. I know college football's over, but NFL still is Super Bowl. But I mean, we're getting college basketball has at least 20 games every night. Some nights 60, some nights 120 if it's a Saturday. So no better time to hop on that long term pass, and we'll make some money together.
That's right. Get on here with Shane over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Let's see. We've got Shane covered next. Let's see what Matt has for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Matt, pretty hot over the last 7 days.
Yeah, it's been a nice run. 10 of the last 11 days have been winners, like I mentioned before. Hoops on a great run, 40, 24, and 1. Overall, counting the NFL playoffs, 53, 35, and 1, 60% over the last 11 days. Tonight, I have 7 college basketball plays, part of 5 different packages, and a 3-pack in the NBA, 12 and 4 NBA run as well. So we're looking to win once again tonight, and I'm already looking at tomorrow's cards, give me another big one. So big weekend coming up with college hoops, and we're going to keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling there with Matt. Get on board. We'll see what Big Al has for sale over at Pick Dawgz. But look at this, over 12,500 units of profit for the past 12 months.
Yeah, I've got a lot today. I've got 2 plays in the NBA. I've got 1 play in hockey. I've got, I don't know, I think 1 game's gone. The Charleston Southern game's already started. It's 36-34 at half, so if anyone wants to play it on the halftime line, might not be a bad move. And I've got, I think, 8 plays left in college basketball. And then I've got my 5-star NFL Game of the Year posted as well for the Super Bowl.
That's right, guys. Got with Big Al. You see the great results there. Long-term pass, the way to go. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. Get on board with Big Al on a long-term pass. Let's see what Rod has for sale over at Pick Dawgz. Remember, Rod, very impressive. Last 30 days, approaching 1,600 units of profit documented.
And right over to Pick Dawgz. I got my NHL sniper play. We've hit 3 straight on that NHL sniper play. So I got a nice plus money banger there. So definitely scoop that one up. NBA drop and dime play. We're 6-1 with that NBA drop and dime play. So that's been hot as well. And then I got a college basketball slam dunk triple. Love 3 plays in college basketball. All those plays are sold separately or individually, but it's also in a package. A nice little 5-pack for Wednesday. You can put that together. And as the cappers before me have said, the best way to go is long term. We've been up, we had a nice day yesterday. We've been up on the week, up on the month. Definitely the way to go is long term. Now, you don't miss out on any of the plays that I've got rolling here tonight. A couple more plays in the back end for long term subscribers. So that is the way to go here at Big Dawgz. Jump aboard, take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper promotional. As you can see, I'm not the only hot capper here at Big Dawgz. There's a bunch of us that have been hot here at Big Dawgz. So plenty of cappers to make you money. Jump aboard. Use the promo code PIG. Save 15% off. Jump aboard. Let's continue to crush the books.
There's the books there with Rod. Let's see what Joey has to say over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Joey having a great year in college hoops.
Yeah, I got 3 more plays up for tonight. 2 college basketball, 1 NHL. I am 67-44 dating back to December 1st in college basketball. If you use the code PIC, you can get 15% off any of those 3 plays available, or go long term like Rod and everybody else I mentioned.
All right, so I'm over Joey over at Pick Dawgz Premium. I got a best bet on the board. Come off of 7-1 the past 2 days ATS here. A best bet for the NBA, so get on board with me or get on board with my long-term pass. Remember that 7-day pass will get you all my premium plays for the next 7 days. Use promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. Multi-cap promotion, even a greater value there. So go ahead and get signed up. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition of the Drive-Thru. Back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll bring our cappers in and get those plays for you right away. I just want to make note, you can visit it here on our YouTube channel. Lots of great content here on demand. I know, Joey, we're still counting down for NASCAR, right? Oh, we might have froze as well. Big Al, you have an all-access video series up there.
I do. If folks are high rollers and want to get on board, just text Big Al to 702. I think it's 702-769-0404. So 702-769-0404. And you must be able to bet 1 to 10,000 a game. You must be able to handle the high volume. We often have 15 plays on a Saturday. But if you would like to get on board, just text Big Al to that number.
There we go. And of course, Shane, we can find you in written form over on the websites.
Yeah, definitely make sure to check out obviously all the video stuff. But every game is also covered on Pick Dawgz in written form. So if you want multiple opinions, make sure to check out both places.
That's right. And Rod, pretty much regular here on the Drive-Thru.
Pretty much right here on the Drive-Thru. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes I'll pop in on Thursday. So definitely continue to tune in to the Drive-Thru.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru. Back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so you're notified when we go live.